I'm Leonard Lang. It's June 14th, and I'm going to call this one rePlanet Part 3. In December, I posted a video about free CRV and the operations of rePlanet Recycling. I also presented a letter to the department with my interpretations of the law and why they shouldn't be permitting this. I did get a comment from the assistant director that he thought it was an interesting perspective, but there's been no stopping the denial of CRV for expired vouchers. Now, in January, they had modernization meetings, end of January, first part of February, hosted by the governor, and at the first meeting I had a chance to meet the president of rePlanet. He came up to introduce himself. And we spoke about the video briefly. He wasn't pleased with it, but then he said something he never should have said. He said, CalRecycle approved it. Now, CalRecycle has a history of approving things with rePlanet that I think are highly questionable. But as for the first quarter of this year, rePlanet spent $22,500 lobbying the department on these types of issues. Monday, there was a budget bill hearing, and we had a bill, SB 102, a budget bill, which contained language concerning the program. I think rePlanet was a little blindsided in their lobbyist testimony. The size of the zone was going to be increased a small amount, and she said that 75% of the zones would be eliminated and people wouldn't have an opportunity to get their nickels and dimes back. Well, I'm going to go on the record to say that's not true. Now, we know about the rumors of poor management at rePlanet. We know that it's been documented that there's poor management at CalRecycle. I want to point out two things. Number one, all the testimony in these hearings has been about the 360. Actually, before it was 500 each year, and now we settled on 360 in a certain period of time. But if you talk to recyclers who are subsidized, who cover multiple sites and who receive subsidies, other than rePlanet, they have not closed. So the issue is it not keeping these companies afloat? It's just not keeping rePlanet afloat. And those recyclers outnumber rePlanet 2 to 1, and could be even higher. It's a little bit difficult to pinpoint the statistics out of the department. But we know that, as in we've seen handling fair's unfair advantage, where the rePlanet got a commingle rate that was eliminated by SB 96. The department had no right to do that. We know that rePlanet lobbies heavily the department. And then, speaking of rumors, there's been a term that the department staff have used called level the playing field. And I'm just concerned that in leveling the playing field, rePlanet might have influenced the department to go after these small recyclers and family-run recyclers to detect if there were violations of U.S. labor law. That's also a concern to me because in recent contact with local legislators, Janice Hahn, Maxine Waters, Stephen Bradford, and Assemblyman, I think it's Morris Succi from the Gardena area, we were at a meeting and they all said that the state government should not be helping the federal government. And we know that they're basically looking at immigration, but that affects these businesses. A lot of people come from Mexico, South America, immigrants, and there's a low barrier to getting into this business, and they don't expect the state to come after them in as many ways as possible. And I want you to know it's been an abuse of power. So that's rePlanet number 3. I think that this program needs another audit, a third audit. That audit should encompass the enforcement branch, the certification branch, and their computer system known as Doris, which, by the way, was down last weekend, as well as the department's website. And I don't think the department has very good procedures to deal with the needs of recyclers and processors when that happens. A lot of confusion out there. It's because they work without regulations adopted. Over and out. Enjoy.